Hello Gemini, this is your extended reading. So your extended is so interesting because I feel like not only your higher self sees how you're pretending to play some sort of magic trick on others to hide something that it's really serious, that is really heartbreaking to you, right? And that you're holding in and not sharing, which is impossible to do, to hide anything from your higher self. But I feel like there is another person that is showing up in your extended that this one sees, through your presentation, through your juggling act, the reality of the truth of it, right? The the truth behind it, right? Whatever you're trying to hide, this one sees it. And it's interesting because I didn't mention on the end of the first part, but what I was seeing also with this Four of Cups was that there is some sort of miracle that, they're trying to point to you. Your higher self is trying to point to you that this miracle is closer than you think. But you're so distracted. You're just working your butt off, trying to distract others, trying to entertain others that you're not seeing, right? So that's why they're burning it to the ground, right? So that you don't have any distractions anymore. And I feel like this one is seeing. So we start off this part of your reading with this Queen of Cups. So this is another person. This could be anyone really, but it feels to me like this is someone that really gets you, that really understands you, that they feel you. There is no words needed for them to see through your act, right? Because it's almost like this sensing from a distance. So perhaps they are in this audience, right, looking at you playing your magic trick, but they're not impressed. And it's funny. Okay, this is really interesting because this is what I was hearing with this magician in the first part. You're trying to impress others, and maybe one person in particular, and perhaps this is the one that you're trying to impress, but they're not impressed because they see through you, right? They see through your magic trick. And there is no need for words here, right? It's something that they just feel, they know it within themselves. So the reason why I say that they understand you, they get you, is because of these three cards. So they had the Ten of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. So if you came with all of these swords and all of these juggling balls with this Eight of Pentacles, right, trying to hide beneath this juggling act, they perhaps know that you're doing the same thing because they have done it. They have done it themselves before in the past, right? So they see you and they recognize it because they felt it too. For a period of time, they had to hide, right? Something that was hurting them, right? That was just occupying their whole mind with these dark thoughts, right? With this Ten of Swords. And so they did this juggling act too, although theirs was a little bit more simple or less complex than yours, right? Because here you have like 8 balls and they only had 2. So okay, the distinction here is important to make, because what I'm seeing here is that perhaps you have more moving parts, you have more people looking at you, so you have more elements inside this juggling act, right? You have more, your equation is more complex. Theirs is simpler. So perhaps they don't have to answer to a numerous group of people as you have, or perhaps their line of work is less crowded, right? Or it's just this distinction that you are playing a more complex magic trick than they had to play, right? But nevertheless, they were also juggling. They were also playing this magic trick, trying to hide something from, you know, from showing their core, from showing with vulnerability whatever was hurting them, whatever was just taking over their mind, and making them stress, making them struggle here with this 10 of Swords. But the interesting thing, because of this 4 of Swords, it's almost like they've done it enough times, or for a necessary amount of time, that finally they got tired and they allowed themselves to rest with this 4 of Swords. So for them to juggle, well, they couldn't keep up juggling, this facade for a long time, right? As perhaps you are able to do, because it's almost like you can handle more complex things, right? Or more people, right? It's just like maybe you don't drain yourself, maybe. So it's interesting because it's also the distinction between you being able to handle more people, more attention from more people than this one, because they're coming also with this extreme sensitivity of the Queen of Cups, right? So perhaps they are more vulnerable, or they are more exposed, they feel more exposed, and so they did juggle, this facade and this inner pain that they were holding, but they got tired of it, and so they allowed this resting time. They gave themselves this time to just be still, to just just allow this. It's like they weren't running away anymore from whatever hurt them, right? They just sank into it. They just surrendered to it, right? And by doing that, the interesting thing is that here, they also came through this realization, this new, it's almost like the development of a new mentality that allowed them to, learn a new magic trick. Because as I said here, for you, and it's interesting because in the first part, it feels a lot more your side of the story. And now this extended is, this other that is seeing you, and that it's almost like this knowing for them, because they've been there. They've been where you are now, right? And so perhaps the intention of this extended is that they see you, and there is some comfort in that for you, Gemini, right? To know that there is someone out there that is watching you, that is seeing through your magic trick. And because here, with these 8 balls and then they burning to the ground, it was these tools for your magic trick, right? And with this number 8, right, also coming through here, but the 8 of Swords for them. So as I said, to them, the way that they learned how to juggle this discomfort in them, this pain, right, this restlessness, right, was not to hide it or to pretend to to do anything else other than to rest in it, to rest in it, because the tools for their magic trick, as they have learned, because they have given themselves this time to sink into the pain, right? And by doing that, they found that in their pain, in their core, in their open wound, right, there was, these 8 new tools to play this. It's not to play an act anymore. It's like to handle it, right? To go through it, to overcome it, right? Not by hiding it with this entertainment act, right? But by finding that the way to overcome it, it's through it. And they did it, because the 2 cards that followed this 8 of Swords was the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Swords. So first of all, they are the Queen of Cups. So their essence is made of water, right? And once they faced their fears, right, instead of trying to juggle it to entertain others while trying to deal it, in solitude with their own problems, they faced them with courage, with, their act was of this, it was this brave act of, facing their own fears. This is what they found here with this 8 of Swords. And when they found it, they also found themselves, this extreme fulfillment, their essence, the quality that makes them themselves, with this 10 of Cups being their nature. So they found their nature again, and it was this overflowing cup, or cups, right? 10 cups. So it's like this 10-fold of essence just brewing and, just overflowing. And by doing that, by finding their nature again, they were able to move on, right, with the 6 of Swords, from this pain, move on from the pain. But they had to face the fears first in order to find their essence again, right? And know that here is where the true act of braveness, of courage, of strength, right, that you have too, right? Here's your higher self reminding you, and not reminding you but by being entertained by your act. Actually, it's by calling you out, right? Because what you're doing so far, it's not something that will make you face your fears. It's actually, it's funny because it's coming through another person, right? Because this is not you. This is someone that is watching you and knowing the truth about your act, your magic trick, right? Your true motivation. But I feel like there is some sort of guidance here. So, okay, so what I'm hearing right now is that if they are watching you, perhaps this is your time to watch them, right? Because their magic trick, in a sense, is not fake, is not for entertainment purposes only, and especially not entertain others. They are fulfilling themselves, right? So they can show you how to do it too, right? How to act with braveness, with courage, with power, to find your true nature, right? And move on from this pain, from this hurt. And so the interesting thing is that your bottom of the deck, Gemini, today was a very heavy card, right? The death card. But I feel like this is your chance to finally overcome, you know, whatever you're trying to hide. That, you know, the message that I'm getting is that if you, yes, you have the ability, the skills and the tools to keep doing this magic trick for a while, right? Yes, people that are surrounding you will be entertained by whatever you're doing, but you cannot do this forever, right? With this death card, it's almost like it's now or never kind of thing, but I don't want to be so dramatic in a way that you don't have a choice. You do. But it's almost like this message that you can do better. You are stronger than this. You don't have to hide. You know, by putting yourself in this vulnerable position and allowing this fear to just come to you, right? To face your fears with courage, right? With strength. I feel like you can overcome this easier actually than you think, because you are being guided, right? And this one seems to be coming through as someone that could help you, right? If you watch them, if you let them, right? So let's see what the runes have to add to this as a final guidance for you, Gemini. Okay, yeah. This is interesting. There's definitely something that you're hiding. So the rune that came through was Lilith, and Lilith is the dark moon, right? The moon that's in the shadows, the moon that does not express her true feelings in order to protect herself, right, from outside judgment or outside looks. And so it feels to me that you are suppressing a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things that are going on inside of you. And for this fear of being judged, you're not saying anything. So you're just moving along with your life, you know, playing this part of being the friendly one, being the funny one, being the humorous one. But in reality, there is a lot more depth to you, right? There is a lot more intensity. There is a lot more true desires inside of you with this Lilith, that it's reminding me of this, you know, this death card. Because facing your fears, facing your shadows, it's like this opportunity for you to become more empowered, right? Not having to hide anything and to free yourself. This is the message, right, from this rune. She wants to be free. She wants to be like, to live her innermost wild desires with no judgment. And perhaps this is all in your head, so you have to free yourself from this thought that maybe others will judge you if you open up to these desires that are burning you, right? And you're trying to suppress. So just free yourself, Gemini. Allow yourself to experience these things, right? And perhaps this Queen of Cups is here to be this partner who you can share it all, right? Who you can open yourself with a lot of vulnerability and truth, and just this fire in you, right? I saw fire here also with this lion burning your juggling act balls, right? So there is a lot of fire and there is a lot of depth in you. So don't be afraid to explore this side of you, right? Yeah, this was very intense, but also very interesting to see like both sides of you in the first part, and now this other person that seems to be like a very helpful one who could come along your path, right? To show you how you can also stop hiding whatever you're trying to hide with this magic trick that you're playing. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'll see you next time. Bye.